Welcome to the Metal Minutia Podcast. I am Ray. I'm here with Phil.
Hello.
And we talk about heavy metal in far too much detail. This is episode 5.
No way.
No way. Who knew that would happen?
Chronologically, I knew 5 would happen before 6.
Yep.
That's about as far as I got. That was
Yeah.
the order of things. Mathematically speaking.
There's only so many things you can guarantee in this world.
Yeah. Well, I can guarantee you that number 5 comes before number 6.
Well, what about...
Oh my God. Star Wars?
No, well, I was going to say, didn't Manowar have Brothers of Metal Part 2 before they had Part 1?
Is that serious?
I'm pretty sure Triumph of Steel had Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that rings a bell, actually.
And then Louder Than Hell had Part 1. I think that's a good bit of minutia early. Today, we're going to lead off with... I'm going to preface the topic first before we go into what's been happening.
Cool.
Just because this could potentially...
End the podcast and also the world.
Yeah. So today we're talking about the bands that we don't get that are popular amongst other people. Broadly popular. Any advancement on that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I was, regardless, going to qualify this with certainly the bands I mentioned today are going to be. There's no hate. I don't hate any of these bands, right?
Yep.
The idea is that like most of this comes from a place of envy. Like if I don't get a band, it means that's one less band that I can dig. It's one less band that I can listen to and enjoy. So when I talk about at least the ones I'm going to mention today, like I'm not. These are bands that either people I respect or who have similar music tastes to me.
Yeah.
They love them, and I'm like I don't get the fuss, or I'm not moved by the music.
Yeah. When I say popular, that's really popular amongst people I know.
Cool. Yeah, right. Amongst the 3 metalhead people we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, because one of my has been listening to this week, things will lead into that.
Nice.
But what have you been on? What have you been listening to? We saw Black Jesus the other day. That was cool.
That was cool, actually. I really dig that band. I've seen them live maybe, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times.
And a Monday night.
Yeah, it's a tough slog going out on a rainy Monday night. I tell you what, 5 degrees, but we did it. And yeah, it was killer. That was great. They're a great band. So much cool energy. Killer energy. And Mammon's Throne played as well.
Yeah. They were really good.
Yeah. It's good to see them. It's a couple of times I've seen them now, and they keep surprising me so far. So I'm, I really wasn't really sure what to expect from their genre because I heard different people report different things, and I'm still not quite sure to make of it, to be honest. But I just know that each time I've seen them, I get further sucked into the drama of it. I feel like they're slowing things down, and they're a bit, there's drama on stage. There's a bit of, there's really atmosphere. You get sucked into it. That's what's been happening for me, anyways.
Are they a band that's been around a long time, or
they've been gigging at least 2 or 3 years? Because I remember fresh out of COVID, trying to organise some gigs, and I remember people kept suggesting them and saying, you got to get them or go see them, etc. So at least 3 years ish.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, me being relatively new to Melbourne and these types of things, I don't. They weren't a band that I knew from pre-COVID years. But
fair enough.
But cool. No, I've seen them a couple of times now and enjoyed them. Anything else you've been?
Oh yeah, so I've been listening to. I've been revisiting a Swedish band called Falconer. Do you know Falconer?
Oh yeah, there's a Falconer CD amongst this pylon. All right.
Oh nice.
That one.
Oh, killer. I've been revisiting. Do you remember the album Armored from 2011-ish?
No.
Anyway, a bit of context for Falconer. They're Swedish. They're called. I mean, they're mostly called power metal by folk, but I feel like that's a bit reductive. Like they've put a strange kind of unique thing going on. Like, the main fellow come from black metal in the 90s, so I think there's a bit of like there's blast beats from time to time. There's a bit of a strange folk medieval thing going on as well.
Yeah. The folk part is. Particularly that one album, what is that called? Is that a self-titled or?
Scepters.
The Scepters of...
How good's your eyes?
Not good.
The Scepter of Deception.
Scepter of Deception. Yeah, folk... that sort of... I guess like Ensiferum or that kind of thing was where, a power metal version of that. I mean, they're kind of pretty close to power metal anyway. But, I take your point.
Yeah,
I guess that's where I'm getting. Go on.
Yeah, but I think they're a killer band. I like albums more than others. But Armored is my favorite, I think, and I think it's apparently it's mostly made up, or it's like 50-50. It's Swedish folk songs that they've reimagined in their power metal-ish style.
Yep.
And it's sung entirely in Swedish.
Cool.
And I really love that album and a few others from their discography. The cool thing about this for me is that I thought they broke up. Well, they have broken up now, but they released one more album before they broke up, which I didn't even know about. So there's a whole new Falconer album for me. Which is
how many years ago was it?
4 years ago. Yeah. It was 4 years ago. So
that's a real treat.
So yeah, exactly. I want to say I'm listening to the new Falconer album, but it's not
new to you.
New to me, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty pumped for that. I also, at your suggestion the other day, you mentioned Dio, All the Fools Sailed Away.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Listening to that, and
that's a song.
Yeah, absolutely. What a song! And I tell you what, I know for a fact that Dio agrees with this because when I pulled the album off the shelf to listen to Dream Evil, when you pull the record out the sleeve, it's got the lyrics to All the Fools Sailed Away and nothing else. Like, it's only got the lyrics to that song.
This is all you need.
Exactly. So before you even spin the album, you're like, oh, I feel like I know which song I'm looking forward to. You know?
Yeah, track 3, is it?
Track 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think it's 4, closes side A.
Yeah. Which makes it weirder.
Yeah, it makes it even weirder. Yeah, it's like in the middle there. Killer song and really good album too. So I was, thanks for that nudge there. I was revisiting that this week.
No, awesome. Yeah, I've listened to that a few times this week as well.
Yeah, nice.
I've been. Do you know Avatarium? I don't know.
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
So I saw today that they've got a new single out, and so they're a band from, I think they started 2012 or something like that. I was quite keen on their 2013 self-titled. So I guess they probably started 2013. But it's is it Leif from Candlemass? Is that how you pronounce that sort of?
I say Leif, but
Leif?
you know.
Yep.
Because I'm used to saying Leif Erikson, but I don't know if you say Leif Erikson as Leif Erikson. You might say Leif Erikson. I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I sure do.
Bass player Candlemass.
Yep.
In 2012, 2013 or whatever, he started a new band called Avatarium or something thereabouts.
Yep.
So doomy, heavy Candlemass type riffs, but then like some prog rock bits and...
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah. They also have what's kind of unique to them, which I don't know of any other bands really. It's the vocals are this like sort of... the woman that sings has this deep and rich bluesy type voice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just really kind of a lot of parts that aren't necessarily unique, but it's a unique combination of parts.
Yeah, cool.
Which has been... so they had a new single out this weekend, I saw, and I've been listening to that. And
nice.
It triggered the fact that I hadn't listened to any of their other albums other than the self-titled.
Right,
So
yeah.
I've been given the 2022 one a solid go as well, which is called Death, Where Is Your Sting? Or something like that.
Nice.
Been enjoying that. And also saw Aardvark and Leatherman, Cult of the Night the other week as well.
How did that go?
Yeah, it's cool. Can't go wrong.
Last chance.
Last chance.
Yeah, cool.
Actually, one bit of news we should have brought up last time.
Yeah, man.
It still hasn't happened yet, so it's still news. The Bendigo's returning.
Oh, yes. Yeah, wild.
Very exciting for...
End of August. Soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah, being taken over by the Mill Brewery.
Yeah.
Who are relocating from...
Just a couple of blocks away, really.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm a big fan of the Mill Brewery.
Nice.
So I'm a little sad to see the brewery move.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's going to be a couple of blocks further from my house.
It swings and roundabouts,
Yeah, but it'd be great to have the Bendy back. And
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do a good job because how well their brewery was run, and then, transporting that and refurbishing what's already a much-loved building, a much-loved venue. I can see this going well. I'm excited.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, and then onto the other band that I've been particularly listening to a lot of recently, and this is probably not actually a band, Amorphous, not a band that too many people I know would rave about Amorphous, but a band I've listened to for probably 20 years.
Yeah, wow.
And I remember I was maybe 15 or 16 I got there. A lot of bands do that kind of 10th anniversary compilation best of type thing. They had one of those, and it was at the time when I couldn't really afford many albums, so you kind of those were sort of safe bet albums.
Yeah,
and that you get a
pretty handy for the for the novice and the new fan. Absolutely.
and the broke fan.
Yeah, the broke fan. Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say, but I was
But yeah, I've sort of been on and off with them for a long time, and I thought, I think last week. I saw that they'd done a live album, a live version of Tales from the Thousand Lakes, their second album.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a iconic one.
Yeah.
So I sort of I listened through that, and I just thought I'm going to put a solid effort in here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So I probably listened to maybe 5 or 6 albums and watched a live DVD.
Far out. Was this in one day or?
Over maybe 2 days.
Okay.
I put the hours in.
Yeah.
Because I think I owned.
How'd you go?
I still kind of reckon they're okay.
Yeah. Ultra mega okay.
Yeah, I think I worked out what my main problem is. Though,
Yeah.
Is that at some point they switched singers.
Yeah.
In maybe late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like the new singer,
Mm.
but he's got 3 types of voice.
Mm.
Like a sort of a death growl, which is fine, a clean vocal, which is really quite good, and I wish he would just do that most of the time.
Mm.
And then he's got an in-between voice,
Oh, okay.
where he's trying to sound tough, but also
Keeping the melodic side as well.
yeah, and it just it never lands for me.
Interesting.
So those bits always annoy me, and that kind of puts me off the thing as a whole.
Yeah.
Just do the death growl.
Just
and,
do the thing.
Yeah, and then the clean vocal. Don't
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know that they necessarily fit into iconic or popular bands, but they've been around for 30 odd years, and particularly that Tales of the Thousand Lakes is a bit of an iconic album, I think, in that.
Yeah, it's definitely the one that people mention, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely the one that comes up in conversation when I've been either recommended or mentioned about Amorphous, but I honestly, I haven't heard someone mention their name in quite a long time. When you brought it up the other day, I thought, wow, I haven't thought about that band in so long.
Yeah.
I think the last album I listened to was Allergy, and that was their third one, and that was, very long time ago. Do you like that one? Is that?
Just because I listened to so many at once.
Yeah. Okay.
But the mid to late 90s ones were pretty weird. They're
Yeah.
jazz lounge breakdown,
Yeah.
jazz lounge sections, and
Yeah, they
a
weren't
lot of-
shy. They absolutely did what they wanted.
a lot of different instrumentation, like saxophones and sitars, and different synth sounds.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And they did it early as well, probably third, fourth album. They were really, they'd gone from sort of a melodic death doom type thing to
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
Swedish.
Finish.
Finnish, yeah.
But yeah, they follow an arc, I guess, that
Yeah.
a lot of bands I really follow that same sort of arc, like the Paradise Lost, the Sentenced, Lake of Tears, bands I would probably have listed previously
In
on
the past,
yeah. So it's weird that they don't grab me as much.
Yeah.
Tiamat would be another one, but yeah,
Yeah.
they haven't sort of grabbed me in the same way. But
Yeah.
I've bought way more of their albums,
Yeah.
so I've tried.
Yeah, you sure have. Is this dovetailing into our topic?
This
or,
is into our topic.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. Do you feel like this comes under the, because I think there's two umbrellas here of when you don't get a band. I've realized over the past week thinking about this.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Sorry if you wanted to.
No, I was just gonna guess at your two is the ones you just don't get why anyone would like it.
Yeah.
And the ones that this just isn't for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's probably the two more important categories, right?
Yeah.
This isn't for me. Like, say for instance, for me, a lot of black metal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I don't get that band because I might not really understand black metal as a genre.
Yeah.
In its entirety. So I'm not even going to say that band's not for me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas on the other side, the genre might be for me, but I don't understand why people don't like this specific band. I was going to say more specifically in that category.
Okay.
There's two subcategories. There is bands that I just don't understand. I'm like, why is anyone a fan of this? Why don't I like this?
Yep.
Or there's where I like the band, but I feel like I should be a bigger fan. And I think that's what you're getting with
that's the
Amorphous.
bucket. Yeah, I'll
you
put
like the
Amorphous in.
band.
Yeah. And there's some
dig it's
songs I
fine.
really like,
Yeah.
but then it's probably like two or it's just
Yeah.
not enough. Actually, that's where the live DVD actually came in pretty well,
Okay.
in that they mostly just played really good songs.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent choices. Excellent choices.
Yeah, they played the ones I like, which
Yeah.
was kind of them.
Yeah.
Back in 2009.
Wasp.
Oh. Yep, Wasp.
Yeah, Wasp.
You don't like Wasp.
It's not that I don't like Wasp. I have a good mate who's a gigantic fan of this band.
Yeah.
Right. The walls are covered. I think you know the guy I'm talking about. The walls are covered with Wasp memorabilia,
Yep.
you know, and brings up Wasp at most chances, you know, of conversation that he can. And I know, you know, a few other casual friends and acquaintances who are just huge fans of that band. And I'm just not feeling what they're feeling, you know? Like, I do like a bunch of Wasp songs.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
think I like the album Headless Children from start to finish. That's
Yep.
probably the closest I can say that, like, I put that album on and listen to it.
Mm.
But apart from that, yeah, like,
Yeah, that's...
yeah, cut me off here, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Right? Stop me.
I'm, you know, I'd like to say I was stunned into silence, but you have mentioned this previously,
Okay,
and I
yeah,
was
cool.
stunned
Yeah.
into
I'm glad
silence then.
Yeah. That was my soft opening then. That
Yeah.
was my...
Yeah.
I was testing the waters.
Yeah, because I do like Wasp,
Yeah.
particularly self-titled. Well, yeah,
Mhm.
first album.
Yep.
I think, but yeah, like Blackie Lawless's vocals are just vicious and
Yeah.
ferocious.
Yeah. And passionate, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
extreme imagery.
Yeah. Yeah. Iconic.
Yeah,
Extreme and iconic.
yeah.
Like,
Like particularly through the 80s. Well, Crimson Idol would have been early 90s, I'm guessing.
I think that's 92.
Yeah, it feels like a 92 album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked that. I haven't sort of engaged with too much after that. There was one, I don't know, they toured here 15 years ago or something, and they'd had an album then, and it had a song on it that sounded just like Wild Child.
Yeah.
Which was, you know, like you,
Yeah.
you already did that one,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. And it was a good song.
yeah.
Wild Child is a good song.
Well, but yeah, is it just you want more out of it? What is it?
No, I don't. It's not that I want more out of it. I'm just not moved by as many of their songs as I think that other people are. I think
okay.
other people talk about how they've got this. Wasp has a kind of a bit of a legendary status, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not deserved, but because of the imagery, because of his wild vocals, and because of some Titanic songs. Enjoy that pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just overall, like I very rarely put on an album or listen to it from start to finish, or put it on and then a few songs in, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, that's Wasp.
Yeah,
you know?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a fun Chris Holmes related anecdote?
Of course I do. Yeah. Love that guy.
Chris Holmes,
The mean man himself.
Yeah. So he had a documentary that was on Amazon.
Yep.
I think. And I was watching that maybe last year.
Yep.
And it's about his like touring times now and how he was actually the only guy in Wasp that had any talent, etc.
Okay. Yep.
That seemed to be the main thrust of it.
Yep.
And it was really quite depressing.
Yeah.
But at the end of that, the prompt from Amazon at the for what I should watch next
Yeah.
was a live Dio
Yeah.
from 1986.
Oh, right.
And that was killer.
Yeah.
Easily my favorite part of the
The Chris Holmes documentary. Was watching Dio afterwards.
yeah, and
cool.
that was really good.
What a great night.
I think it must have been Last in Line tour or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's unreal.
Or maybe Dream Evil. I don't know.
Yeah.
But really
Probably would
good.
have been, if it was 86, it might have been Sacred Heart because that
Oh,
was
yep.
in between those
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
I believe.
And he had
But-
Big Dragon on stage.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yep.
What do you got? Are we going for band?
We'll go
Let's just see how
band
we
for
go.
band. We'll go
Yeah.
Sacred Cow for Sacred Cow.
Yeah. Just tearing down institutions, man. Just tearing down.
So I'm gonna. It's a bit weird because there's a flag of this band behind me.
Right.
It's like Ghost is a band that I've never
Ghost.
got.
Mm.
I remember when the first album came out. What was that? 2012, 2013, something
The
around.
first album was 2010.
Oh, right.
Mm.
Well, my memory could be flaky. I remember at some point a lot of people on the socials being very, very keen,
Yep.
talking about this incredibly evil sounding
Mm.
band, and I was like, oh, but it just didn't strike me as anything.
Yeah.
And I've tried, over time, as new albums come out, I'll
Yep.
even at Download
Mhm.
Festival.
Yep.
Was that 2020?
Yep.
I thought maybe I'll just watch them for a bit. Maybe
Yeah.
then I'll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just.
Yeah.
Just washes over me. I
Yeah.
think it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you're a
Yeah.
big fan of.
I'm a
this
huge fan of Ghost. I love Ghost. I adore them. Since Day Dot as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just feels like Blue Oyster Cult, but not as cool. I
Mm.
don't know.
Yep. Yep. If that's what you get, that's what you get. What can I say? Yeah.
Mm.
I'm Ghost are one of those bands that I've grown up with them. Like I've been on the journey with them. It's
Yeah.
real cool. I heard that album in 2010 or 11, shortly after. I remember the guy at the record store said, "Phil, you'll love this band. They sound like a cross between Blue Oyster Cult and Merciful Fate." And he put it on, and it sounded like a cross between Blue Oyster Cult and Merciful Fate. And I'm like, you had me at hello,
Yeah, yeah.
And I've been a fan ever since. And I think some people have been. This is not you, but like some other people, like the first album and the second album, and then have been disappointed where they've gone since. Which is probably a fair perspective as well, because not that they've changed massively, but they've definitely become more refined, and they do things differently now. Their songwriting approach is different.
Right.
And but for me, I really haven't expected anything from them. So when you don't expect things, that's probably good, because you're not really worried about what's coming next. It's just you roll with the punches, And I've just had a great time. I think the guy's an amazing songwriter, and he likes arena rock as well, and that plays nicely to me because I love arena ready, and I love the pop choruses anyways, I'm steering it away from what you were saying, but I felt compelled to defend.
No, I'm glad.
I feel compelled.
Because I think a big part of it was I was kind of set an expectation of, something particularly evil sounding. Yeah. And that just kind of never eventuated to
So that's what fans were promising you, people who had heard it, and they were promising to you? Well, is that what was coming across?
I think it was, maybe that was what was happening in the media side of, their promotion. They were this satanic whatever. Yeah. But then a lot of people in that, that like black metal and that sort of thing were saying that this is this album's amazing.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah. Oh yeah, so you're there's trusted sources, who are like brutal.
Yeah. And I'd built a kind of image in my head, or whatever, of what I thought this was going to be like. Yeah. And it was just nothing like that.
It was not that. It was not that. Yeah. That's a lesson in life, I think. When you when you create an image in your mind about how something's going to be, and then it ends up not that, and it's like
But if the guy at the record store had said, it's a cross between Dark Throne and Iron Maiden.
Oh right, yeah. That guy was way off, man.
And then you're like, all right, and then you play it, and then it's.
Well, now I feel bad. Now, see, that upsets me, because I think you've been wronged, because, you're missing out. And it might be because of the first, misstep. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe I can.
I don't know. Probably not.
Well, I think what we'll do in this podcast, so the last episode, I put together a playlist of most of the tracks we talked about.
Yep.
I think we'll do another playlist for this one where.
Oh yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put down, I'll put some Wasp songs in, you put some Ghost songs in, and as we go on.
Yeah. try and convert.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we both hate the band?
Then they don't make the
Then
cut.
they don't make the cut. Simple as that.
Yeah, why would they?
Yeah, why would they? I don't know, just to annoy the hell out of something.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, so when you talk about ghost change, because my very superficial knowledge of their, I guess like their sound, like the instrumentations and the overall vibe,
Yep.
it feels like it's pretty much the same over time.
Yep.
But is it more songwriting or?
Yeah, I would say like on the first two albums, the songwriting is a bit more quirky.
Yep.
There's a few strange structures and some weirdly angular riffs. You know, that's kind of the best way I can put it. That's when they sounded most like Merciful Fate, is like the strange kind of riffs.
Yep.
Not wildly strange, not, crazy time signatures and atonal stuff like Merciful Fate were doing proper, but just odd and eerie.
Yep.
So I think that kind of sets those first in particular and the second one apart. But then after that, they hit this kind of stride where the songs became, while still heavy and like ominous in atmosphere, they were definitely much more straightforward. The songwriting got much more refined. I think it was a positive step because you go out of your way to write strange things. That's a bad thing. You go out of your way to be strange, you're going to end up, it's not going to be right. Either things happen organically or...
Be accidentally strange.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think it was the right thing to do, but and that's, I think, where some people dropped off, but another million got on. So
yeah.
I don't think
they're very popular. I don't think they're losing any sleep.
No. Papa's not stressed at all. All right, my next band. I like to call this next band. This next band is my favorite band of all time that I don't like them. And this is going to make sense. You give me a moment, right? Voivod.
Okay.
Right? Voivod are a band where Canadian thrash band from the 80s. They started out that way, but then over the decades did some progressive and wacky things, going in and out of heavy metal, progressive rock. They are a band. I love their cover art. I love their song titles, album titles. I love their lyrics. I've seen them live a few times. Enjoyed watching them live.
Yep.
And a few musicians I work with, who I work with really well, who are good friends of mine, they love Voivod.
Yep.
So in my head, I'm like, man, I should love Voivod.
Yeah.
Right? I'm so excited about this band. I should be a huge Voivod fan. But when I listen to their music, I'm like,
Yep.
I'm not moved by it at all. And it's really disappointing to me because I want to love them. I want 10 Voivod shirts. You know? I want their albums on the wall because they look so good. And, they've got this sci-fi thing going on. Everything is just made for me, I feel like.
Yep.
And then, but I don't like the music. Which is...
Is it... So, there's some bands that I... Like, even some styles of music that I would be happy to watch live, but never really listen to on, like, I don't put Tech Death on at home.
Yeah, gotcha.
Is it that kind of thing? When you said you've seen them a couple of times and enjoyed them,
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. I think there's something to that because I feel that way about jazz. I don't put on jazz at home, but if the few times I've seen a jazz band and I'm watching them noodle and go bananas, I'm like, that's pretty rad. You know? But, Lord, no, would I put it on at home? Lord, no. There might be something to that. Yeah, like, because they're energetic and, they, do weird things on the instruments.
Yep.
So, that's probably something to that, actually. Yeah, maybe it's just a specifically unique vibe of the tunes where I enjoy it live.
Yeah. So I've got friends that really like Voivod as well and have recommended to me, and it just hasn't hooked me either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what Voivod songs I'm going to put on the playlist if both of us are confounded. But
we'll have to ask some friends.
Get some trusted sources.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll convert us.
Yeah. Please do. Please do.
Because, the people really like them.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a staunch fan base. And they've made it to Australia once now.
Oh, have they?
Oh, no, maybe twice, actually. definitely once because I've seen them here, but I think they'd been here one time before. Yeah, so they've been to Australia twice, which is no mean feat, especially pre 5 years ago.
Yeah, yep.
So they've definitely got fan base here as well as obviously internationally in Europe, etc.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That's interesting that we're both on the same page about that. That's the first crossover so far. Yeah.
Well, we're only, 3 in?
Yeah,
4 in?
3 in. It's going to get much worse before it gets better.
Well, yeah, so...
Yeah, right. What do you got? Hit me. I can see you squirming over there, man. What's going on? What do you got?
So this is one of your favourite bands.
Oh, yeah?
Opeth.
Oh, man! Oh, no!
And I actually gave them a solid go on Friday night. Actually, I listened to.
Oh, you're cramming. You're cramming before that.
I listened to the Blackwater Park, and then I listened to Orchid.
Yep.
I didn't mind Orchid too much. There was some good stuff on that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's. I mean, it's one of those things. It's probably just not for me bucket. I would say.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that really like Opeth. They're
Yeah. Yeah. In your ear about it. I've been in your ear about it the last 5 episodes, man. I think they've come up once per episode.
Yep, exactly. So this is going to feel real bad about it.
No, this is great. This is great. Carry on. Tell me about your first experiences with them and etc.
I think I was initially put off by like Opeth fans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful, Ray.
But not. It's a sort of it's sort of like Dream Theater fans. If you want to. There's a group of people that really like and want you to know that they're the greatest musicians of all time, and no one will ever if you don't like it, it's because you're not smart enough to get it, or
you just don't get it, man.
Maybe if you were a bit smarter,
man.
It's a bit too artistic for you, maybe. So there was a bit of that, and so I was a little bit offside from the...
Yeah, okay. Yep.
But, I don't know. Just sort of a bit meandering for me.
You know what? I would agree with that. They are a meandering band.
Yep.
They are a meandering band. And that's something that's always been part of their music.
Yep.
Even from the 12-minute, black metal assault of their first couple albums. And then... that's just never stopped. They've always had long songs that wander.
Yeah.
So that can be really charming sometimes for someone like me who just wants to get into that a certain atmosphere. Of course, you're no stranger to long songs. I know that's not what you're saying, but when you're in the Opeth zone, when I'm in the Opeth zone like that's where I want to be. So I don't mind that it goes to 65-minute album. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I can totally understand that as a quote unquote criticism. Totally get it.
Yeah, and particularly when I was, I guess, listening to Blackwater Park on Friday. There was a few bits where it was just like, seemed almost joltingly switchy, just like it could have been just 2 songs.
Yep.
But they've made it one, so for the excuse of having a long song, or that kind of thing. That's probably very.
I'm going to say here, and this might be a hot take. I'm not a huge fan of Blackwater Park. Actually. Like, I do like a lot of the stuff on there, but I don't think it's I don't think it's the bee's knees, and I don't think it's their best work.
Right. That's always been the album people have sort of said to me, you got to listen to that one.
Yeah, because I find that fascinating. I think within the Opeth fan community, there's different kinds of Opeth fans. Oh, actually, of course there is, because like there's fans that only listen to the first 3 albums that are just like like the way he was only singing with death, with the kind of black metal, death metal vocal, almost exclusively. So there's fans that dropped off after that. Then there's fans that dropped off after Blackwater. Then there's fans that dropped off after Deliverance, etc.
Yeah.
So I think you might get someone who calls themselves an Opeth fan, but they only like, whatever material. And I'm like that with bands as well, of course. Like, I call myself a fan of a certain band, but I only really like the first 5 or 6 years or what have you. So that's not a criticism.
That's what I was saying about Halloween before, of like, I hadn't listen to what their top, two of their 3 top-rated
Yeah.
albums were.
Yeah, for sure. So, where was I going with that? I was just trying to say that, yeah, there might be fans that call Blackwater the best of their work, but for me, that's not the case. And I think I'm even part of the minority further to that, because my favourite Opeth is the last 3 or 4 albums that are like the prog rock, Steely Dan sounding ones, like it's got nothing to do with 90s Opeth at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So this might come up again in future episodes, Ray, about... I'm going to talk about Opeth again in future episodes. Yay!
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, when a band stops being a band, because of either direction change or different members, for me, I think Opeth probably could have or should have changed their name in the last 3 or 4 albums, and just been the Michael Macafelt project.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Because, I don't know, but there's a lot of variables to discuss when something like that would happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get derailed there, but yeah, Opeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feel bad about that one. But
Mate, I got an absolute doozy for you, so don't feel bad, man. This band comes under the banner of I like them, but I should be a bigger fan.
Okay.
Right. So I do get why people are fans of this band, but I should be a bigger fan of this band. Primordial.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were on when you arrived.
Yeah, I know. I started sweating. I started sweating when I came in and heard that. I'm like, oh my god. Man, people who are fans of Primordial would die for them,
I have a tattoo from Primordial on my chest.
My goodness. Yeah. Get out of my house. Yeah, man. Hey, look, I've seen them live a couple times, and I had an incredible night, and Alan's stage presence is just, it's otherworldly.
Yes.
Like, he commands.
Are you with us?
Oh man, you're darn right I am. You're darn right I am. I was at that show with my partner, and she's not notorious for getting in the pit or headbanging as such. She plays it pretty cool, calm and collected.
Yep.
And at the time, I don't think I'd ever seen her throw the horns in the air. Quite subdued. When Primordial come on stage, right? And Alan's like, "Let me see your fists in the air," man. It's like, didn't even hesitate, man. And if Alan could get her, to move with that lightning speed in a moment, within a moment of being on stage, like that told me at the time, what kind of,
This is serious.
Exactly. What kind of business, what kind of presence he has. And of course it was proven again over the following hour. Like, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, maybe I should talk about why.
Yep.
Yeah, because when I put on the music at home, I don't. They're a meandering band for me.
Yeah.
Like, their songs are quite long, and I don't. Yeah, I get lost, and I want to be the guy. I want to have 5 Primordial shirts, man. You know, I want to be looking forward to coming back. But I'm just like.
One time, I think I was doing a tour, and I thought it'd be really funny if I wore a different Primordial shirt every day of that tour.
Yeah.
I had enough Primordial shirts to do that.
To do so, yeah. Very good. Mission accomplished.
Yep. The other guys thought it was pretty funny at the time.
Good.
Have you heard of this Primordial band?
Yeah.
So when do you know the albums you've put on at home and haven't had that?
I think the ones I've focused on in the past have been To the Nameless Dead and Where Greater Men Have Fallen. Those are the 2.
Yeah, they're 2 of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, To the Nameless Dead's, that's their, I guess, where they crystallized the sound. That's where they became, I think that really catapulted them into that next level of underground.
Yeah.
The top of the underground, or whatever it might be.
The top of the underground, so just below ground? What's that? Is that subsurface?
Yeah, just in the soil. Top soil.
Like when I hear the music, like I hear the passion and the and the power. Absolutely,
Yep.
I do. Yeah. So I certainly, again, I'm just qualifying here. Like I do understand.
Yep.
I understand to an extent, of course. But that's definitely the banner of like I wish I liked them more.
Yeah.
Like I should, I feel like I should like them more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly, given how often you have to hear me talk about
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah. Go on and on and on and on. Yeah. Topsoil. I just want us to remember that.
Yeah. It's recorded, so.
Yeah.
Topsoil. We'll go through the many stratas of the underground.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Geology jokes for everyone.
This one is the same banner as Primordial. AC/DC.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I wish.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll give you a second. Yeah. I wish I was a bigger AC/DC fan.
Yeah.
Like I want to be, you know. I got a couple of classics. I've certainly heard all their material over the years on and off, and I've got, good friends who are huge fans.
Yeah.
And of course I get it, their contribution to classic rock and heavy metal just simply cannot be overstated. Again, seen them live a couple of times,
Yep.
had a good time. But I just, I want to want 10 t-shirts and a tattoo,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like people who are like, hey, Zodo, but I don't.
I think the thing, if you had an
yeah.
AC/DC tattoo that was visible, then you'd get a lot of people talking to you that
Yeah.
on the street that you, maybe, probably.
That's why I don't wear Opeth t-shirts
Yeah.
as well.
But yeah, like AC/DC up until Back in Black.
Mm.
I mean, after Back in Black, it sort of,
Mm.
you can kind of take or leave.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as far as execution of, rock and roll
Mm. Yeah,
songwriting and that sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, particularly like I was going to say Power Slave, Power Age.
Yep.
And Highway to Hell, TNT. Great
Yep.
albums.
It's fundamental stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Like, I can understand it,
Yeah.
of course. To me,
Is it just that it's like there's other bands that have, they're not differentiated enough from...
yeah, so, I mean, I guess it's just like, maybe if I'd listened to them a lot more when I was in my teens or younger years, I think I'd probably be on board more so. But when I was as a teen and a younger fellow, when I was listening to those kind of elemental bands, I was listening to Zeppelin and Deep Purple, and then I was pretty quick to get onto like Blue Oyster Cult and what have you. So I was
A bit too meat and potatoes for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I was already, scoping out some kind of, strange sounds. So
That's pretty understandable.
yeah,
Because it's
that's probably
very...
elemental, man.
Yeah.
Like,
mm.
yeah, and we can't have what we have now without the elements. So
No.
of course,
Yeah.
I respect it and understand it, but I just not hugely moved by it
Yeah.
most of the time.
Maybe you just need to listen to it way louder.
Yeah, yeah, just heaps louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, just max volume all the time.
Mm.
How many hours of AC/DC music do you think there is? Do you reckon there's 24 hours of it?
No, there wouldn't be that much.
I don't think there could be.
No.
Because I reckon they'd be like 35-minute albums. I reckon they'd be 40-minute albums.
Yeah, 40, about that. And not actually all that many of them. Because they've, the last, 35 years, they've probably had... well, actually, from Razor's Edge was early 90s, and it was Ballbreaker mid-90s, Stiff
Yeah.
Upper Lip early 2000s. It's sort of like every...
It starts to be like every 5 to 7 years sort of thing.
Yeah, and probably closer to every 10 years now. And yeah, not particularly long.
Yeah.
Or,
So what you're saying is I could probably knock it off in about 20 hours of if I was...
yeah.
If I just wanted to listen to them back to back at 100 decibels.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Yeah. If you wanted to. Why are you looking at me so weird right now, man? It's
You probably you don't probably there's you can skip a lot of them.
yeah. Alrighty.
But Back in
AC/DC.
Black, I mean that's as far as like rock and roll production goes, that's like as good sounding an album
Oh
as
yeah,
you're gonna
for sure.
get.
Yeah, that sounds unreal, man. Highway to Hell. Sounds unreal.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then, because they were both Mutt Lange, and then he went on to do.
I know Mutt Lange was definitely Back in Black, but I don't know if he did Highway.
Pretty sure he did Highway 2, and then on to doing what Hysteria.
Pour some sugar on me.
Yeah. The ultimate level of production.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it went from meat and potatoes to all the other foods at once on top of each other in a stew.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? A Highway was Mutt Lange. Good call, man.
There you go.
Yeah, good work.
Any other sacred cows?
Yeah, a couple of sacred cows for you. For you, yeah. Battery are a band I wish I liked because they kind of cross over into some stuff that I should like, and I do like a song here and there.
Yeah, right.
But overall, yeah.
What about the Battery albums that sound like Manowar albums?
That's what I need. That's what you need to tell me about. Yeah, that's what we need to load up this playlist with. Yeah, cool.
Because there's a big Battery Manowar sort of
era
similarities. Yeah, actually, to bring Primordial into this.
Good. Yep.
So Alan from Primordial was in a band for a while called Twilight of the Gods, which was
was he in that?
Yeah, he was a singer.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
So that was originally a Bathory tribute band, and then they ended up making an album, and that really sounds like that crossover point of Manowar and Bathory.
Yeah. Cool.
Have you heard that album?
No, I haven't.
It's a good album.
Yeah.
I'd rate that.
I should check that out.
Yeah, it's got Nick Barker playing drums, and I want to say Ice Dales on guitar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like all these,
Yeah.
pretty
Ice
black
Dale.
metal alumni. And
What a great name.
Yeah.
Ice Dale.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Have you heard the? This is getting on tangents, but that's okay.
Let's do it.
Abath's original solo album under the thing it was called.
I love that album, man.
Yeah, and that one of the songs when the solo's about to start, he's like, "Ice Dale."
Yeah. Yes. Fantastic. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I love that album, Between Two Worlds.
Yeah. That Ripper album.
That's one of those. I'm so glad I heard that when I did, because that's one of those ones that could have just flown right by me, and I just never would have heard it, and no one would have ever mentioned to me ever again. But I don't know where I was at the right time, but I heard it or picked it up, and that's such a good album, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah. If that's in the realm of if Bathory or Twilight of the Gods have anything in the realm of that, I'm on board.
Yep.
Ice Dale. Yeah.
When black metal's rock and roll, it's kind of that's when it's in a spot.
Yeah, special place. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Do you have any more, or do you want me to finish my list? I've only got one more here.
Yeah, shoot through.
Misfits. I don't know if that really comes into. You a Misfits fan?
Nah.
Kind of. Okay. All right then. Carry on. Conversation over.
No, not hugely. Like I know a few songs here and there, but it's the punk sort of thing is not my.
That must be what it is. They are definitely more on the punk side, aren't they? Yeah. I know a lot of heavy metal fans who are big fans of them, and
I saw something that was pretty cool on the socials the other day, where it was like a letter that Danzig had sent to Cliff Burton.
Oh yeah.
With the lyrics for whatever song it was, and like a letter saying like, basically, I don't normally let anyone cover our songs, but you guys are probably the only ones that can. And
that is so cool.
Yeah, it was really, really quite. It was awesome. Because I think it was going to be on Master of Puppets, I guess, but then ended up being on.
Yeah.
Garage Days.
Yeah. A short time later.
Yeah. Green
Hell and Last Caress, I think.
Yeah,
those ones ended up doing.
Yeah, Green Hell was the one.
Oh, geez, that would have made Cliff's day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
And there was something in there where it was like, you guys are the only ones that won't, screw it up. But if you do...
I'll be coming for you.
Yeah,
I'll be coming for you.
Are you a Danzig fan or not?
Yeah, because I don't mind Danzig.
Yeah, okay,
I don't
cool.
mind Danzig, particularly the first couple.
Yeah,
I really like that. Especially that first one. He's got that somewhere in between like the Doors and Roy Orbison. Like he's trying to go for this kind of like
Yep.
dark rock and roller
Mm.
kind of song voice atmosphere, and yeah, it's cool. It's
Yep.
cool as hell. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, I should listen to more of that actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a friend of mine he went through and learnt all those songs on guitar because he wanted to. Actually, he really likes the guitarist,
Right.
who's John Christ. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he even went to the extent of buying a BC Rich. What was it? Was it a? It's not a mockingbird. I think it's a bitch that he plays.
Yep.
And like doing all the he got like a fairly stock one and did a huge amount of work to customize it to be the same as
Yeah.
John Christ.
Wow, that's some dedication.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think every song ends with the chord that it ends with is the same chord as the start of the next song.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yep.
it just kind of flows through.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the first album?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's some minutia for you.
Yeah. Some good minutia. Some good metal minutia. Yeah.
All right. So I think we can probably wrap it
for
up.
the love of God, let's wrap this up. Let's get this uncomfortable episode out of the way. Never shall we repeat it again. We need positive energy, man.
Yeah, positives from now on.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Share it with your friends. Tell us why we're wrong about not liking certain bands, or why we're wrong about liking them. Maybe
We usually don't complain so much, so please join in next time for some for some good times.
Yeah. All right. Rock and roll.
Cheers.
Penso per